If you shower or brush your teeth or try to make your hair look presentable, here's some good news. Dollar Shave Club has a lot of stuff to help you out. Dollar Shave Club delivers everything you need to look, feel, and smell your best. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, even a wipe that leaves your tush feeling tingly clean. All of Dollar Shave Club's products are made with top-shelf ingredients that won't break your budget. You'll feel the difference. Plus, shipping is free with your membership. And here's a great way to try a bunch of Dollar Shave Club's products for just $5. You can get their Daily Essential Starter Set. It comes with Body Cleanser, One Wipe Charlie's, their amazing butt wipes, and their world-famous shave butter. And their best razor, the 6-Blade Executive. Keep the blades coming for a few more bucks a month and add in a shampoo, toothpaste, or anything else you need. Check it all out at dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chad.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
President Trump took to Twitter this morning, expressing outrage that his longtime lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen recorded a conversation they had. The president writes, quote, "What kind of lawyer would tape a client? So sad." But Mr. Trump does not address the substance of what he has heard saying in that recording and whether he knew about a payment to Karen McDougal, former Playboy model who claimed she had an affair with Mr. Trump. The president also asked, quote, "Why was the tape so abruptly terminated, cut, while I was presumably saying positive things?"
What was he saying in the rest of that tape? What was he saying? Does it matter to you what was on the tape? I mean, all of this stuff took place before he was candidate Trump. Maybe even before he was apprentice Trump. The payoff came while he was candidate Trump. But now it's how did the money get there? Did he take it out of campaign finances? Was it cash? Was it in a paper bag? Did she report it to the IRS? Wouldn't that be funny if nothing happens to him and she gets flagged by the IRS? Chad, I feel sorry for her, Catherine McDougal. I feel sorry for Melania. Now, he's a billionaire. He's a playboy. He spent most of his life on the back pages in New York, right? The society pages. You know who he is. You know exactly what you're going to get. And she probably knew that. They probably have an arrangement. It's not unheard of in a situation like that. Is what it is. I don't judge. It's not my place. But did anything happen on there that was so incriminating as to say, this is it, he's done, he's caught, we've got it, it's the smoking gun? Now, I've cut it down to 41 seconds, but Chad, well, it's like a 3-minute tape. The first 2 minutes and like 20 seconds of him talking is not them talking about anything. He's actually on the phone with somebody, and they're talking about whether or not somebody should come somewhere or not go somewhere. Should you come? Shouldn't you go? Maybe you should. Then they talk about Pastor Scott and another pollster, and can we use that pollster again or somebody? They talk about those things, and that's it. There's nothing about the meat of it, which is what everybody wants to hear. I'll let you listen and hear for yourself.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with funding. Yes, and it's all the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know what he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that, and I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
What financing?
We'll have to pay you. So no. I got no.
So he says there, I'll pay cash. No. No cash. All right? Come on. All right? No cash. So it's no cash. All right? Giuliani talks about it being no cash. But other people out there say this is it. He's done. He's dusted. Lanny Davis, Cohen lawyer, this is what he says.
Richard Nixon couldn't spin the tape that did him in, and there's no way that Mr. Giuliani, who knows from being U.S. attorney, the only people who use cash are drug dealers and mobsters. Cash is not what you do, and it was Michael Cohen who said, no, 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 and Donald Trump, despite what Rudy Giuliani said publicly, the tape contradicts Mr. Giuliani, and the word cash is heard by everyone.
Yeah, but just because you suggest something doesn't mean you go through with it, right? Hey, we'll pay cash. No. Okay. Doesn't make a crime suggesting something. I'm not here to defend Trump, his actions. Hey, you know what? That's on him. I'm not married to him. I don't know. And I don't know what's on the rest of these tapes, right? I don't know how she got paid. Does anybody ask her? Did you get a cashier's check? Did you get, it came from a third, they set up a shell company. A lot of people set up shell companies. Right? Set up shell companies, going to purchase this, going to do this, that. Set up a shell company. We're going to do this. We paid it out of this. Did it come out of campaign finance money? That's a question that needs to be asked. All right? Or did he literally write a check for it? Hey, Michael's like, I'll pay for it. You pay me back. All right. Did he pay for it and then he reimbursed Michael through the campaign fund? That's the question that people are going to ask. The cash side of it? The guy said no. No. Okay. There you go. So we move on. Giuliani?
And says, no, I got it. Cohen doesn't want the rest recorded because it was too exculpatory from the point of view of the president. There's no way the president is going to be talking about setting up a corporation and then using cash, unless you're a complete idiot. And the president's not an idiot.
What Giuliani's saying there is like, hey, let's do all this work to set up a shell corporation, and then I'll just hand her cash. Now it's whatever side of the aisle you're on is how this goes, right? Because both sides are going to fight it.
President Trump says, quote, don't pay with cash.
His attorney, Rudy Giuliani, saying on Fox News that Trump wanted to pay via check to properly document the payment. But Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis, told CNN it was candidate Trump who suggested the cash payment.
The tape contradicts Mr. Giuliani, and the word cash is heard by everyone.
Okay, that's true. Cash is heard. His client said no cash. Just because you say something doesn't mean you do it, right? Just because you say something doesn't mean you do it. The reality is she was paid something. It's not hard to find out how she was paid. We go from there. Mrs. McDougal, which I'm sure you're going to be called for. Were you handed money in a nondescript paper bag that was dropped, right? In a trash can somewhere in New York City, and then you drove by in an Uber and picked it up and got back in that Uber and drove off? Or were you given money through a shell corporation that you just thought was another corporation that was set up and then you got paid? How did this happen? Curious on how this happened. And then we go from there. The reality is, if you're on one side of the aisle, at this point in time, if it's Russia, if it's the downfall from a Playboy playmate or a porn actress, notice I didn't say star, if it comes from that side, you don't care. Any means necessary. You'll justify it in your mind that it was done that way. On the other side, you look at this and you're like, there's nothing on these tapes that prove anything was done wrong. So why are we talking about this crap? That's the world that we live in right now. Crap. Nothing real. And there's real stuff going on out there. There are real issues that are happening right now in our country that we should be talking about. Like everything that has happened with this president, If you're on one side of the aisle, you hate everything he's done, you hate who he is, he'll get no credit for anything, you just want him gone. You see it your way. Nothing has changed. Nothing coming out has changed your thought process. Nothing good happening in the country has changed your thought process. On the other side of the aisle, you love him, you stand behind him, he is your guy. Nothing that has come out is changing your thought process. Nothing bad that you've heard is changing your thought process or how you support him. It is what it is. That's where we are. That's where we are. And nothing about this tape is changing anybody's mind. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Let's talk about tariffs. Let's talk about the farmers and what President Trump is asking them for. It is the Chad Benson Show.
Feel free to punk this punk rocker any time of the day or night. Reach Chad on Twitter at Chad Benson Show and on Instagram at Chad Benson Show. And oh yeah, the Chad Benson Show on Facebook too. Punk that.
Our first winning number tonight is 19. That's followed by 2. Up next we have 4. Your next number is 1. And your final white ball for this Tuesday evening is 29 out for the Mega Ball. That number is 20.
Oh, my God. There it was. The names, the numbers, they were shouted out. 20 was the super mega number. Was there a winner?
One very, very lucky winner. One actually got that $522 million jackpot and woke up a very rich person today. $308 million if they take that lump sum cash payout. Now, we don't know who won that lottery, but we do know where it was sold, and that was in San Jose, California, over at Ernie's Liquors over there, a liquor store there in San Jose, California.
So, one winner, $308 million. After everything's said and done, probably going to walk with about $220. That's a good day, right? I don't know who else is getting paid like that. Now they can finally afford a 2-bedroom condo in San Jose with maybe air conditioning. That's how expensive it is in California. That's amazing. So what are, or at least were the odds?
What are the odds of winning something like that? Well, 1 in nearly 303 million. So it just underscores how lucky that person was. But obviously, if you didn't win that jackpot, you still have a chance because more than 3 million winning tickets were sold with prizes ranging from $2 to $1 million. So check that ticket right now. My ticket, not one of those.
How great would that be if he would have won and he just said, I just want to let everybody know I won $4 million. And you can take this job and show working here no more. $220 million is a lot of dollars. And you know what it shows? That no matter how much people scream about greed is all presence and everything, and that money is bad, and it's blah, 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 everybody plays the lottery for a reason. Because they want to win. And I will tell you this. You might be a person like, taxes are great, 50%, tax the rich. By the way, you won $12 million. How much are you taking? Oh, that sucks. Overnight, you change. Now, would you like to learn how to win the lottery in the future?
It's not that people are stupid. It's that people don't know how to play.
Richard Lustig has won 7 jackpots. He says there are certain things you should never do.
I know people watching this right now are going to freak out at what I'm about to say, but folks, don't play quick picks.
He says choose your own numbers and stick with them. His biggest advice?
Don't spend grocery money. Don't spend rent money. Don't get crazy with this because there's going to be a lot more losers than there are winners.
There you go. So you come up with your own numbers. Phil and I, we've been doing it wrong. I mean, we've got the winning mindset, but we've been quick picking it, man. We can't do it that way. God, I knew I was missing something. Well, don't worry. There'll be another $300, $400, $500 million jackpot within the next 6 months or a year. You know that happens. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Every single day at this time, we love to give you a little something that you can take out into the streets And if you need to, you can drop it subtly into a conversation. We call this our urban word of the day.
It's time for the urban word of the day, fam.
What? Right now?
Time to get a little more hip on the streets.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Urban word of the day.
I love this one, kids. I love this one. Relation blip. Relation blip. Maybe you had a relationship with somebody that it just really wasn't all that good, right? And you look at your past relationships, you're dating and all that stuff, and you look back and you shake your head and you say, you know what that was right there, kids? That was a relation blip. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, we've all had some relation blips. Relation blip is your urban word of the day.
Thank you for saying that in dated urban slang so that I'll understand you. That there was the urban word of the day. We damn stretched your cranium.
So Trump, apparently, and the White House have decided that CNN is so naughty that they cannot come to next April's correspondence event. They've been banned. You're naughty. This is so childish. It really is. It is so. I don't even know. Does he didn't even go this year. Has he banned himself? Oh my goodness me. This is not what we should be talking about, right? We should be talking about things like tariffs and the farmers, which we're going to touch on here in a little bit. We should be talking about things of that nature that actually matter to the people of America. We should not be talking about correspondence dinner next year that CNN is so naughty that they can't come because they played those tapes. Jerks. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. What do you think? Our Twitter poll today is about the Cohen tapes. Right? Was the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do? Haven't made up your mind yet? Text the program or take the poll at Chad Benson Show. I love my pillow. I sleep like I haven't slept in a long time since I can remember. And it's amazing. It really is. It has changed the way I sleep. It'll do the same for you. If you thought to yourself, Chad, I'm interested in it, I'm not quite sure. Let me tell you something. It works. You're going to love it. It's 100% machine washable and dryable, so it's easy to take care of. 10-year warranty, made in the USA. Backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. You're going to absolutely love it. You're going to love it. Right now, they got a great deal. Buy one, get one free. So you buy one, you get one free. All you have to do is call 800-944-4975 or go to mypillow.com. When you do, use that promo code Benson, BENSON. 800-944-4975 or go to mypillow.com. Use promo code Benson. You buy one, you get one free. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to need 10 pillows anymore to sleep. It's not going to be uncomfortable at night. Your head's going to hit the pillow and boom, out you go. You're going to wake up feeling refreshed, ready to tackle the day. Buy one, get one free. Call 800-944-4975 or go to mypillow.com. Use promo code Benson. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. CHADBENSON. Talking about tariffs, we'll touch on that. And an interesting thing that Trump said to the farmers of America. We'll touch on that straight ahead. It is the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Free trade used to be a bedrock principle for Republicans, but Donald Trump has long been a protectionist. And as president, he's put his protectionist tariffs in place and now is getting blowback, especially from farmers who are just getting walloped by retaliatory tariffs, especially from China. So the president has offered a $12 billion emergency bailout, the payments to be made before the midterm elections.
So, tariffs. Interesting. It is going on, and this is something to pay attention to right now, because that heartland of the country, the flyover country, really helped President Trump. Tends to be a little bit more rural, tends to be a little bit more Republican. Right? They're making America great again. But they're feeling it. Farmers across the country are feeling it. People are unhappy with it. People would like to see something done. How much is going to get done anytime soon? That I don't know. I've told you that I believe in my heart of hearts that these tariffs are, for all intents and purposes, a temporary thing. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, this is it. This is the beginning of the end. I don't think it is. And Trump is feeling a bit of the heat, and he's tweeting out there.
The president clearly feeling the heat on tariffs and the blowback from farmers and farm state Republicans in Congress. He tweeted this morning about weak political leaders who don't have the strength to redress what he says are the injustices that America is suffering in trade around the world. He's asking for patience as this trade war drags on, and tweeting this morning, no weakness.
No weakness, maximum effort. Producer Phil, would you say the word feckless might also fit there? Would that be a word we might use? It may. Other people are coming out and talking about it that are Republicans about this right here.
This seems to be pretty much a self-inflicted wound, yeah.
Yeah, self-inflicted, big time. That's Roy Blunt right there. Missouri, not happy with it at all. Would like to see some stuff done about this, and I understand that. Ted Cruz.
What Texas farmers and ranchers need is we need markets opened up. We need expanded trade.
Yeah, expanded trade. It isn't helping, kids. It isn't. And the $12 billion bailout, it's... I don't know. I mean, it's temporary. And I sit back and I say, I'm interested to see. Here's my thing with Trump. You may not like him in foreign policy. I'll give you that. Not always sure. I think he's a hit and miss kind of guy. I'm telling you, it reminds me a lot of King Ralph. Secondly, I'm going to throw this out there. Some of his immigration stuff, I like the ideas, the effort itself. He's been a little bit hit and miss. When it comes to the economy, I think some people out there will give him a lot more slack than other places because of how well the economy's been going and because of the one thing that really a lot of people looked at with Trump where they trust him more than, say, Hillary and others is because he understands the economy probably in a way that is so much better than the likes of many of the other politicians that are out there because he is a finance guy. He's a financial guy. He gets it. And this is what was very interesting yesterday, speaking out there to the people. And listen to what he says here at the end.
They don't want to have those tariffs put on them. They're all coming to see us. And the farmers will be the biggest beneficiary. Watch. We're opening up markets. You watch what's going to happen. Just be a little patient.
Just be a little patient. And I do believe people are going to give him the benefit of the doubt and be patient. How long they're patient for, well, that's another story. But there's going to be some patience given to it, given to the fact that Trump, I think, has done pretty damn good on the economy, right? You could say it's, it's Barack Obama's economy. That's what everybody keeps saying. The people on the left, this is all Barack Obama's economy. No, you know what? Trump's been there long enough. This is his economy. Right? Win, lose, or draw at this point in time. And I think they're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Not everybody.
The president's bailout is another example of President Trump lighting a fire and grabbing the nearest thing off the shelf to douse it and then patting himself on the back as to what a great guy he's been.
Even some Democrats, even some Republicans are echoing some of that. That they're not a fan of what they're seeing. And I get that. But he's looking, I think, at the long game, thinking if we can do this right, this is going to benefit everybody. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We will see how it plays out. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. People are texting and going, King Ralph is a perfect description of Trump. If you've never seen King Ralph, you wouldn't understand this, producer Phil, because it's a movie that played in more than 3 theaters. It's a movie with John Goodman where he is like a Las Vegas, a horrible, he has this horrible show in Vegas. It's not anywhere it's like off the strip, right? And the royal family all dies in a horrible accident, and he's the only one left that has any lineage to the royal family, so he's king, and he's King Ralph. And he makes a lot of mistakes, but in the end, he kind of does some good stuff as well. And to me, sometimes I kind of look at him, he's a bit King Ralphie. He is. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Did you hear Meghan McCain? I was talking to somebody today, and she was on The View talking about the social Democrats that are out there. And I was talking to somebody who's he does a lot of stuff for the Democratic Party. He says, look, if I am in D.C., and he goes, I go back and forth between here and there. He says, I'm pushing Biden right now. I'm begging Biden because there's nothing else out there that people feel is going to do anything that's really going to move the needle. Somebody like Biden may move the needle a little bit, but they realize that this far leftist way that they're headed plays in New York, plays in a place like Los Angeles and San Francisco and maybe in Seattle, but across the flyover country, it's going to fall on deaf ears. And it makes a lot of people very uncomfortable. So Meghan McCain and Joy Behar started sparring a bit. And McCain, talks about, hey, go ahead and run a radical.
Which, by the way, I hope Democrats do run a Democratic socialist.
Do you hope that we win? Do you want the Democrats?
No, because I think you'll lose spectacularly, and then I will look forward to election night when I finally get to tell everybody I told you so if you end up running a radical.
Yeah. And I think they will. I mean, if they can't get by, I'm looking out there. If you're like, take off your blinders of Republican and Democrat for a second. And just scan the space out there in Democrat land. And I've talked about it before, where they have a identity crisis right now, where the left, the far progressive left, are taking everything over. Their voice is the loudest. They're dominating. They're putting and on top of that, the media is doing their part because they're putting the microphones in Ocasio-Cortez's face and Elizabeth Warren's face and Bernie Sanders and they're talking. That's going to fall a bit on deaf ears. It really is. It may get some young people excited, but I don't think it's going to play well in Cedar Rapids. I don't think it's going to play well in a lot of other places, even in places like Miami, where you got, Florida's vitally important, as we all know. It's going to be a struggle in flyover country. And yeah, even Florida. It's not flyover country, but Florida's, as we always see how important Florida is. Well, you got Cubans there, right? They're not a huge fan of socialism. They've seen how it works. So, does it work in North Dakota or South Dakota? Does it work in Wyoming? Does it work in Idaho? So you run a radical if that's what you want to do. And if you run a radical and you talk about democratic socialism all you want, people are going to say, all they're going to hear is socialism, and they're going to think one place.
Problem with socialism, in the words of Margaret Thatcher, at a certain point you run out of spending other people's money. Venezuela, one of the richest countries in the world in the 70s. Now, the average Venezuelan has lost 24 pounds because they're starving to death.
Yeah, starving to death. 24 pounds. I was talking to producer Phil the other day. What did I say? Inflation was going to be up to, 3 million%?
Yeah, something
Some
like
ridiculous thing. Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. Hyperinflation like you couldn't believe. And they're touting it. And this is the problem they're having, is they crash into one another, trying to like crabs in a bucket, trying to get out of the bucket. They're climbing on top of each other, and they don't have an identity, and they don't have somebody who's going to front this. And that's why, even when you talk to Democrats across the board, or when you look at the polls that come out, they still look at Hillary, which I'm telling you guys, I still think she has another run in her. I'm just saying, she looks over at Bernie, says he's older than me, and he ran, and he's thinking about it. And Biden, it's not far-fetched, because you're not going to roll out Elizabeth Warren, who's talking about 50% taxes. You're not going to roll out, Ocasio-Cortez is too young, right? Bernie, that show's played, but even for him, I know some people are saying he's not radical enough. What do you have? I'm curious. What do you have? You have people who want to tax the hell out of things, and then what? Well, once they tax it and take it, they love to spend it.
On your tax reform, I think you should start paying the amount of taxes that every socialist in this country thinks you need to. Because if you think the government is so good at spending money, look at the VA.
Ooh, look at them go at it. Which, by the way, on your tax reform, you can pay more if you'd like to. Did you guys know that? If you feel the need, you can pay more if you like to. Joy Behar.
So, you're saying you run out of people's money.
Margaret Thatcher.
Other people's money. Margaret Thatcher.
I didn't say that.
They have just given this enormous tax break to the very, very wealthy in this country. That tax break doesn't have to be so generous to those really rich people, does it? Because if you don't give that money to them, what happens to that money? Better schools, better post office,
I'm sorry,
better garbage pickup, better
If you think the government is so good at running things, then the post office is a great run business. The VA.
Yeah, she's right. She's right. You think it's great? The VA, the post office, losing money left, right, and center? If you think it's so great, give them all the money and let them do what they want to do. And the battle with the young, especially through schools, high schools and things like that, and colleges in particular, the democratic socialism, and they're always throw that word democratic socialism in there. They're always going to throw that in there because they want to make sure that you understand it's not Venezuela. We're trying to do something here a little bit different. If you think that's what it is, then knock yourself out. Because a lot of the radicals I'm hearing, they're not talking democratic socialism in the ways that, you know, you look over and you maybe see the Scandinavian side of things, which they'll tell you, we're not socialists, we're free market, we just have high taxes.
Comparing the United States of America to a small country in Europe is delusional. And I'm sorry, some of us do not want socialism to be normalized in this country.
I am an example. Wait, can I finish?
70% of tax.
Oh, I thought they were going to go to blows, right? Finish better than old Judge what her name was. Still, I think over time there's gonna be some normalization of that, especially amongst the youth. And they are the largest voters bloc. They're the largest group of people. They're going to normalize it. So that is coming. Is it coming tomorrow? No. Is it coming? I do believe at some point in time it will be here. Will it stay? That I don't believe. But they're going to try. Dollar Shave Club. Let's talk about capitalism, not socialism. Dollar Shave Club is amazing. You know what you would get if you had socialized Dollar Shave Club? Everybody would get a razor, and it would be awful. And you'd pay 10 times what you should for it. What do you get with beautiful capitalism, Dollar Shave Club? The best products, top shelf ingredients. Boom, not going to break your budget. That's what I'm talking about. You think it's just razors. It's not. It's not. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, everything you need to look, smell, and feel amazing as the best capitalistic you that you are. That's what Dollar Shave Club does. Check it out. $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Free shipping. Take that, socialism. You're going to love Dollar Shave Club. It is amazing. This is where you're going to start, right? You're like, I want to be a member of that, Chad. That sounds amazing. You're going to be for $5. You're going to start with their Daily's Essential Starter Set. Get ready. Body cleanser, One Wipe Charlie's, Dr. Carver Shave Butter, the 6-blade executive razor. That's where you start. Then you're going to throw in some hair gel because you want to look great. And the hair gel is awesome. Boom. All of it's awesome. I'm just saying start with some hair gel. How do I join, Chad? DollarShaveClub.com/Chad is how you join. DollarShaveClub.com/Chad. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. Chad Benson Show.
A bird in the hand is worth 140 on Twitter, so tweet your beak off at Chad Benson Show Twitter. And if instant gratification is your thing, hit Chad up on Instagram at Chad Benson. Your bird will thank you.
The Los Angeles Fire Department responding to a medical call in the Hollywood Hills neighborhood at a home listed as a residence of Demi Lovato. The call came in at 11:22 a.m.
EMS 11, respond with engine 97 already on scene, unconscious.
It was Lovato, according to People magazine, a source telling them she is stable after an apparent overdose. Lovato, who has been open about her battle with drug addiction, has said she's been substance-free for 6 years.
Yeah, and she's battled for a while, and this is not the first issue with this, and I've seen how she, a lot of people talking about how she's really helping a lot of people out there, and she's been helping a lot of people, and it was producer Phil, you said it earlier today. I mean, she's battled all kinds of things. This isn't the only thing, and at this point in time, you're right. She's on her way. Is it the 27 Club?
That is the 27 Club.
27 Club, and it's sad to see because who wants to do this in the public's eye? Apparently her family and everybody surrounding her today, but she is definitely, really, really struggling, and that's sad.
On average, it takes multiple years and multiple treatments to get 1 year of sobriety, just to get 1 year. So the fact that she had 6 years, she's way ahead of the curve already. I am certain she'll get back into the game.
Yeah, but it's, think about the pressure for somebody like her or anybody going through it. You've got pressure, you got all of these responsibilities, but then multiply that by all the responsibilities she has with the spotlight on her. And that's a tough thing. That is a tough thing, and who knows what's gonna happen from here. But it is a sad situation when you look at somebody like that and see that something's going on there that obviously isn't being dealt with. And who knows if it's going to be dealt with at all. And you just wish for the best. And I'm one of these people that, I like to have a positive attitude. I hope she does well. And the fact that I think that people are learning from this and people are able to take something away from this is a positive thing. But it shows you that, hey, drug addiction, these are things that are real in this country. That, a lot of this other noise that we talk about is exactly that noise. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Got a poll question up today. The old Michael Cohen thing, and hey, I taped it, and now here it is, and it's on CNN. How do you feel about that? What do you think? Right or wrong? 67% say it was wrong. 12% say it was right. 21% of you say undecided as of yet. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show or Facebook. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
President Trump took to Twitter this morning, expressing outrage that his longtime lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen recorded a conversation they had. The president writes, quote, "What kind of lawyer would tape a client? So sad." But Mr. Trump does not address the substance of what he has heard saying in that recording and whether he knew about a payment to Karen McDougal, a former Playboy model who claimed she had an affair with Mr. Trump. The president also asked, quote, "Why was the tape so abruptly terminated, cut, while I was presumably saying positive things?"
I knew that's where I said something positive. You guys are so mean. That's when I told everybody I'm going to make the entire world peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I'm going to do it from my heart. We're talking about a tape about an affair that he had a decade ago, right? A decade ago he had an affair. This is my shock face with a billionaire, doesn't matter who it is, and an affair. It's my shock face. Chad, it looks pretty much like your regular face. Yep, exactly what it is. Is it embarrassing? I feel bad for Catherine McDougal, and I'll tell you why, because if you read anything about her, listened to her, she genuinely thought that they were in a relationship. They thought there was love abound. She thought love was in the air, right? And I feel bad for Melania. Now, in saying that with the Melania side of things, I don't know what kind of relationship they have. I don't care. To me, it's, look, you're worth $3 billion or $10 billion or whatever you think you're worth. Why would a 20-something bombshell find me oh, yeah, you find my $3 billion attractive. But with that comes all the other women that find it attractive. So what kind of relationship do they have? I don't know, but I do feel bad for her because it's embarrassing. It really is. Now, the question that everybody wants to know, is he guilty of something? Did he do something? Here is a portion of that. Now, it was 3 minutes. I cut it down to 41 seconds, the only time they're talking about this. The rest of the time, he's talking on the phone to somebody about hey, we're going to go there. Maybe you shouldn't go there. If you're not feeling well, don't go there. Then they talk about a pollster, and they talk about some guy named Pastor Scott, and they talk about somebody else. And it has nothing to do with what the salaciousness of this is and the nitty-gritty of it. And remember, there are other tapes out there, and I'm sure that, they'll release them one by one. But this is the nitty-gritty of their payment and the Shell Corporation.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with funding. Yes, and it's all the stuff because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that, and I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So no. I got no.
I'll pay cash. No, don't pay cash. We're going to set up with the Shell Corporation. Then it sounds like maybe Michael Cohen's going to do it. Then maybe he's going to get reimbursed. And how he gets reimbursed or how that money got in there is the big question. Because in the end, all that the left cares about is it came out of the campaign finances, so you could say, look what you did. You paid somebody to shut up. And you did with campaign dollar bills. And now you must go away. And we heard it on the tape. This is Lanny Davis.
Richard Nixon couldn't spin the tape that did him in, and there's no way that Mr. Giuliani, who knows from being U.S. attorney, the only people who use cash are drug dealers and mobsters. Cash is not what you do, and it was Michael Cohen who said no, and Donald Trump, despite what Rudy Giuliani said publicly, the tape contradicts Mr. Giuliani, and the word cash is heard by everyone.
Well, he said cash first. Then the person you're repping, right? He says, no. So just because you say something doesn't mean you actually went through with it. But this is the stuff we're talking about. We're not talking about tariffs with Europe. We're not talking about immigration, which is just floundering out there. We're not talking about health care. We're not talking about Brett Kavanaugh, whether or not he's going to be, confirmed as the new member of SCOTUS. We're not talking about any of the things that matter. With this president anymore, it's salaciousness around where, Putin meeting, what did they say? What did they talk about behind closed doors? I'd like to know, did they say something? Did they play footsie? Why is stuff redacted? I want to know. I want to know how this goes. Please tell us. We need to know. Are they intertwined? Is stuff tied in here? Is stuff we need? No. And part of that is because it doesn't excite us, right? Like Pompeo today was, he's out there and he's getting grilled by, in the Senate hearings, and they're asking him questions.
No, but were you tasked with that? You gave us a list of what you were tasked with.
I came here to talk about American foreign policy today. I've attempted to articulate President Trump's policy.
All of these business interests are entwined, sir, with our foreign policy.
It's not very exciting. Playmate. Payoffs, that's exciting, right? Pompeo and Bob Menendez talking about stuff.
No, you know what? I've listened to your political soliloquy as a Secretary of State sitting at that table, demeaning some members here because you said that Senator Shaheen believes more in the Russian defense ministry. She was quoting them only because we don't know what our own government is saying.
It's not exciting because it's not salacious. And for the average person, you got to pay attention to that. I got other stuff going on. I've got time to pay attention to that. Why do I want to pay attention to that? That's not exciting. Tell me more about the Playmate. Remember, sex sells. There's a reason they don't send fat women to seduce men. Chad, was that wrong, Phil? That felt a little wrong.
But it was funny.
There's a reason, right? Because sex sells, right? Oh, it's a femme fatale. Yeah, well, it's not a chunky fatale. It was like, oh, here she comes. Hey there. I'll pass. Didn't work. Want to get some snacks? Doesn't work. Sex sells. And so the interest is that. Because it's easy to follow along, too, right? Because guys and gals can understand that. The intricacies of the workings of Secretary of State and Mike Pompeo and talking about Russia and the relationship with Russia and what took place over there and talking about all of this other stuff, it's not super exciting. It's not. But what is? Sex, right? Sex. Sex is. That is. Because we all get sex. We've all got a past. We all wish we could have paid something to go away so we could have a mulligan. All of us do. Some guy just texted me something horrible about larger ladies, nutritionally overachieving ladies. Some women love nutritionally overachieving ladies. Yeah, you're not seducing Congress people like that. But you get it. The sex side sells. That's the reality of it. That's why we follow these things more, because there's a salaciousness about it that's not there. This is easy to follow along. This is a pop-up book because we watch reality TV. And with the reality TV, it's easy. I don't have to be super invested in something. You ever watch a show that is so intricate that unless you start from the beginning, jumping in the middle, you can't do? And then there's a lot of shows where you can start anywhere. And you're fine. You can enjoy it. That's what this is. Right? Now, the whole cash thing, not cash, that's what it's all about, right? Like, is this cash? Do you do this? That? They're just trying to figure this out because this is what they have. This right here is what they have. And I found something interesting the other day. It was so funny because I'm sitting here and I think when you think about this, you know, all of this stuff, I mean, we've got tapes of Trump and his lawyer. We've got everything leaks out. Don't you think by now we would have known if there was really something there? Yeah, Chad, well, they're keeping it super double. No, and I'll tell you why. This is what Trey Gowdy said. I think it was on one of the Talking Head shows this weekend.
I've seen as much, if not more, than any other member of Congress, which is why I am so adamant that Russia is not our friend, and they tried to attack us.
Are you equally adamant that the president has not colluded with Russia?
I have not seen one scintilla of evidence that this president colluded, conspired, confederated with Russia. And neither has anyone else, or you may rest assured Adam Schiff would have leaked it. So that's why they moved off of collusion onto obstruction of justice, which is now their current preoccupation.
I think there's something to that. It's the ends justify the means when it comes to getting Trump. And if it's a Playboy playmate that was scorned and had her heart broken and it's a $150,000 payment and that's the way that they can get at him, or it's obstruction of justice, or it's whatever, it's a parking ticket that wasn't paid, they're going to look, they're going to try to find. And it's much easier to follow along than a lot of other stuff. And I do believe that thing. Trey Gowdy said it best. Adam Schiff or somebody would have completely by now, because as human beings, we can't keep our mouth shut. We can't. Cannot keep our mouth shut. We inherently have to tell somebody something. And if you knew and you're working with the Mueller team and you knew there was a collusion and you're you're part of the team. You're not one of the lawyers or lead investigators, but you're part of the team and you've got an opportunity. You don't think you can't text somebody? You would absolutely. And that would get to somebody else, because the reality is we can't keep our mouths shut. So we move on to something else. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. You're looking for the perfect employee. It's kind of hard right now. Employees are out there, but they're all employed. But they're looking for better. Mm-hmm. And you got that better. The problem is, are you guys fishing in the right place? Right? Ooh, tell me more, Chad. ZipRecruiter is where you need to be. Yeah, that's where you both should be fishing. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to connect you guys up there. How is that? Let me tell you about ZipRecruiter. First, how amazing they are, right? So you post your job, 100-plus job sites, immediately, pow, there you go. They don't stop there. They've got this technology thing, right? This incredible algorithm matching machine bobber thing. I don't quite understand it, right? It's like too big for my brain. It's well above my pay grade. What they do is they scan thousands of resumes to find the people with the right experience. And then what they do is they invite them to apply to your job. Boom. Applications come in. They scan through them. They spotlight them. Then they say, hey, not only are these ones great, but here are the top candidates of all of these. That's why they're so effective. In fact, ZipRecruiter is so effective, 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. And with results like that, it's no wonder ZipRecruiter is the highest rated hiring site in America. Now, kids, how would you like to try ZipRecruiter for free? That's right, free. My listeners, you guys can try it for free. This is what I want you to do. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BENSON. ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. You're not going to be disappointed. ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
It was $522 million, but excitement throughout the nation was so crazy yesterday that it went up by $21 million. So the final Mega Millions prize is a wonderful, astounding $543 million, won by a Californian, a single ticket, ladies and gents.
And after taxes in California, that person has $74 left. How about that? Fantastic. Congrats. $308 million, I think, was the cash payout when all was said and done. So, and I think California is one of those weird states that doesn't actually take lottery winnings. So it's only going to be 35%. That's you know what? You're walking with about 210 million, give or take, you know, when all is said and done. And if you're the store owner, you're stoked, right?
I would like to thank California State as well. They have made us realize our dream that we longed for, that we came here for, and we feel today as a family and friends that we have realized our dream, which we longed for.
That right there was Kual Sachdev, who is the store owner. And I think, I'm not quite sure, but I know they get a certain amount. I don't know if it's like 1% or something like that. So they're going to have a smile on their face. They're going to get themselves a fat little check as well. Hey, you know what? Good for everybody all around. And it's fun, right? Like when one person wins. It wasn't you, right? It wasn't you, but it doesn't mean it can't be you. When you dream, you got to dream big, kids, right? This is how like everybody wants to be wealthy. Nobody wants to be poor. It's noble to be poor. No, it's not. It's stupid to be poor. It's stupid, right? We all want to be rich. We all want to have money. More money, more problems. Stop it. Everybody's got problems. Rich or poor, people have problems. We wouldn't have the lottery if everybody wanted to be poor or average, would we? Hell no. We play the lottery so we don't have to be poor or average. How funny would it be, producer Phil, if the person who won it was already a silicon billionaire?
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, my God, I would love that. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. We'll talk a little bit about SCOTUS. Are we ever going to see old Kavanaugh get his, well, should we say his interviews with the Democrats? Straight ahead, Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thought and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
It's all happening, people. Hot Rod Rosenstein. Isn't that a better name for him? I think all politicians should have nicknames. That'd be far more entertaining. We can get the guy, Chris Berman, right? The boomer from ESPN. He can give them all nicknames. They should do Sports Center kind of highlights throughout the day of your favorite politicians. Oh, that'd be more entertaining. But apparently, Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, and a few others decided they're going to at least introduce articles of impeachment against Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. The DOJ has continued to hide information from Congress and repeatedly obstructed oversight. We have had enough, says Mark Meadows. We have had enough. Wah, wah, wah. People are like, who? Wait, what? Who's Rod Rosenstein? Hot Rod Rosenstein? Yeah. It's Rod Rosenstein, people. He's not quite sure he's going to be Hot Rod anymore. So we've got this guy, Brett Kavanaugh, here. He wants to be the next member of SCOTUS, right? Kennedy's retiring. Kavanaugh is who they have chosen. And we're doing the song and dance here. Will it happen when they say it's going to happen? Why aren't there more meetings taking place and sit-downs with old Kavanaugh?
The delay game is going to be played by our Democratic colleagues. They're going to try to put it off as long as possible, but the leaders made clear we're going to have this before this vote on the nomination before the midterm elections.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to take a chance that you're not going to be in control of anything and you wouldn't have a chance to get Kavanaugh through. And McConnell and the Republicans are in the driving seat. Whether they... the left wants to understand that. They can fight all they want. They can scream and shout all they want. They can do all that they want, get out there. And they've been getting out there, and they've been talking. But the reality is the Republicans are in charge of this, and Mitch wants to get it did.
I was pleased to see that Senator Manchin decided to have a meeting, and we hope there will be more Democrats who may have an open mind on this nominee to actually sit down and meet him.
Well, Senator Manchin's in a different position because he's in West Virginia, and he didn't really have a choice, right? He's got to somewhat play ball and not look like he is part of the resistance. Now, Elizabeth Warren is out there, and if you guys don't speak Navajo and whatnot, I'm gonna decipher what she's saying for you because she's a wind talker, and a lot of people understand what she says because of her native tongue. So here is wind talker Warren.
He is part of making this court not represent equal justice under law, but making this court represent corporate interests against the interests of individual human beings in this country.
What she said there is he is part of basically the corporate apparatus. He's not about helping the individual or any of that. He's part of the corporation. He's all about the corporate interest. Again, I'm a little rusty, but, she is a wind talker.
His nomination is a threat to people of color, to women, to workers, to the LGBTQ community, to people living in poverty.
Oh, she almost ran out of breath because of all the letters, but let me see if I can decipher it. What she said there was him being nominated is and if he was to become part of SCOTUS would be a threat to everything that walks, talks, and breathes. poor people, people of color, people with no color, LGBT community, the rest of the alphabet, people with and without arms, people with and without hair, people who are thin, fat, tall, short, dogs and cats, goldfish. It would be a struggle. It would be a struggle. Yeah, he's a threat to all of them. He really, really is. Whew, man, it's been a while. I mean, I'm a little rusty, so please forgive me. She's a wind talker, right? She's Native American. I struggle with the language. I'm better than most, but you guys kind of got the gist, right? I think I did a pretty good job there. We move from there to Cory Booker.
In a moral moment, there is no bystanders. That in a moral moment, there is no neutral. In a moral moment, you are either complicit in the evil, you are either contributing to the wrong, or you are fighting against it.
Oh, right. So you're evil, right? And this is a moral issue. In the moral moment, you're evil. If you don't fight against her, because she's him, because he is evil. Trump is evil. Kavanaugh is evil. And if you don't fight against them, you're basically morally bankrupt. I'm not quite sure if that's true. Oh, this will be fun. And let's go over again the whole Supreme Court thing, right? So they have these, meetings, supposedly these sit-downs, and they sit down, they shake hands, they talk a little bit, and they'll talk about some stuff, but they're not really supposed to ask any specifics about cases that they may eventually be sitting down and hearing. But they're going to, talk to them. Then when they sit down and actually have a chance to grill them, when they have all the hearings and everything, in the end, it's not about how do you feel about this case or that case. It's the whole point of this is, are you competent in the law? Do you understand the job of which you're about to partake in? Are you competent enough to do said position? Not whether or not you're going to be the leader and introduce something to overturn Roe v. Wade, which is not how it works. For those of you not keeping score, that's not how it works. It's not like he gets to show up the first day and he puts on the robe and he says, all right, let's do this. I've decided to overturn Roe v. Wade. It doesn't work that way. For those of you not keeping score, it's just not how it works. I know a lot of people think that. Some people really think that. He's just going to get on the court. He's just going to overturn it in 5 minutes. It doesn't work that way. Right? And that's not the only thing he gets to hear either. It's like, hey, we got a big land situation here, and it has to do with, it's crazy. It's eminent domain. You can't hear this because you're only the abortion judge. It doesn't work that way. But the whole thing of having these hearings is all about to find out if the person has an understanding and a grasp of what they're about to take place, what's about to take place with them being the new Supreme Court justice, that they understand the law. They can interpret the law. They get the Constitution and all of these things. That's what this is about. It's not about, hey, by the way, are you going to overturn Roe v. Wade by yourself? So stupid. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, where are we again? How did we get here? I don't know. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So Roseanne Barr is, well, she's somewhat speaking the truth here. Now, what she did was wrong, and we can argue whether or not she thought she was right. Right? We can argue about that. We can sit here and talk about that all day. Right? Because a lot of people, I thought she was right. That was insane, right? Like, wasn't it? Wasn't a little bit like she just like, what happened to you? Right? What happened?
I'm trying to talk about Iran. I'm trying to talk about Valerie Jarrett wrote the Iran deal. That's what my tweet was about.
I know. You've explained this literally 300 times.
I thought the bitch was white. God damn it! I thought the bitch bitch was why.
The heck was that?
That was that. You didn't hear that, Phil. You weren't here. She did this sit down with some people, and I think they're part of her production company in her own little studio. And that was like the outtake of it. Because then she had some real, points that, where she apologized and talked about that, the reason she's not on TV is because of Trump, this, that, and the other. But that was like, she was sick and tired of hearing that question. And so she was joking around with them, apparently. And that's why she said that. But for whatever reason, that got out there. And the reality is I don't know. I don't know if she really thought she was white. Right? I don't know if she did or didn't. But what Rosanne is bringing up is she's upset about the fact that James Gunn, who tweeted some awful things about 10 years ago, and he's the guy who's directed the Guardians movies and a lot of other things, is getting all of this support, all of this love, all of this adoration. And he tweeted stuff about NAMBLA. If you don't know what that is, that's an organization for pedophiles, North American Man-Boy Love Association. He tweeted about rape and all of these horrible things. And he said he was trying to be provocative and he was trying to be funny, and it missed the mark. And it was 10 years ago. But Disney cut him real quick. And I mean, take it for what it is. I don't think they should have. I think there needs to be a moratorium of you did something 10 years ago, you tweeted something, you said something, you had a joke. Now people are taking it a certain way. Sorry, it doesn't, move on. What she did, Disney had to move on from. It was whether she's a racist or not, it came across definitely that way. And it was, I've wondered this though, Phil, and this is something that I think an argument can be made here. If she would have said, instead of, the Planet of the Apes or whatever, if she would have said a different animal, would we still be having this conversation? I still think we would. I do. And her argument is it's only one reason why she was fired. Hollywood's come to his, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Selma Blair. There's a Change.org petition with over 200,000 signatures to get him back on the movie project for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They're all kind of rallying around him. He's a victim. She feels abandoned, and I understand that. She feels like, hey, you know what? I was part of the in crowd. I had a hit show last year, and all of a sudden, I suck.
On one point, she's not wrong. While James cast members, colleagues, and even fans have been very vocal about their feelings, they think Disney firing him is a bunch of BS. Hollywood pretty much abandoned Rosanne.
Yeah. They threw it, but that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. But she has a reason why, and Disney had no choice. She has a reason why she was canned. And I think there is something to it. We had McCarthyism, from 50 to 54. They were looking for the Reds everywhere, the commies, looking for them everywhere. Right? People were blacklisted. Trumpism?
You'll remember Rosanne has been an outspoken supporter of President Trump, and she released this video just last week explaining why she thinks she was fired and is currently getting no support.
Well, the answer is simple. It's because I voted for Donald Trump, and that is not allowed in Hollywood.
Well, you may vote for it, but you can't talk about it. And you sure in the hell can't be a supporter the way you were, as far as they're concerned. Now, I don't know because I still think you had enough power because of who you were to continue to keep the show going. Had you not done what you've done, had you not tweeted what you tweeted, I don't think people were fans. That's for sure. And it's not just her. There's a lot of other people out there that unless you are a star with mega power and can control your own fate, if you're a Trump supporter, you're quiet about it. She's right about that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Oh, cryptocurrency. What's that? I'm going to tell you about it. I know what it is, Chad. I get it. People are interested in it. And I get people, 1 or 2 people a day text me and go, how real is this course, from amazingcryptoclass.com? This is so real. You're going to learn everything that you need to know to make an educated decision. And when you're going to invest something, you should make an educated decision in it. And Tiki Tiwari, he runs the Palm Beach Letter, smart guy, Wall Street guy, hedge fund guy. He understands it, and he wants you to learn so you can earn. And I think we should always look at how do we diversify ourselves, and we should have opportunities to invest in the future, and this is the future. In fact, I read today with some guy, some tech, he's worth millions. He's a crypto billionaire. He says, I'm going to be the first trillionaire in history, and I'm going to do it through cryptocurrency. Is that a possibility? Well, I think the possibility is there's going to be a lot of people who are going to make a ton of money in cryptocurrencies. Why shouldn't you be one? But learn first. It's simple and easy. You can learn everything you need to know. Check it out for yourself at AmazingCryptoClass.com. It's AmazingCryptoClass.com. AmazingCryptoClass.com. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Do dogs know how you feel? Chad Benson Show.
You call it ridiculous. We call it reality with a twist. Say what?
Say what? So somebody got a lot of money to do a study about dogs. Could dogs detect if you're happy or sad? Now, I didn't need a lot of money, and you could have just took me to dinner, right? Maybe got me an Amazon gift card. And I could have told you that dogs understand what your feelings kind of are and that they want to try to make sure that you feel better. But instead, they came up with this awesome plan. Say what?
During a new Johns Hopkins study called Timmy's in the Well, Empathy and the Pro-Social Helping in Dogs, scientists put 34 dogs behind a door closed by magnets. On the other side, their owners who were asked to sing You Are My Sunshine or to pretend they were crying. When the owners were crying, the dogs opened the doors 3 times faster than when the owners were singing. And the sound of the humans crying made some dogs so stressed they whimpered and cried until they could get to them. Bottom line, dogs not only sense what we're feeling, if they can help, they will.
Phil, you know what I got out of that? They hate ukuleles.
That's what I got.
I love the study name. Timmy falls in the well, empathy for blah, 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 blah. That's the study name? Shouldn't it be owner stands behind door, we play ukulele or cry? See what happens. News at 11. Say what? Somebody got money for that. Like somebody got money, and I guarantee it was government money. Somebody's writing a grant and got $500,000, and they're like, I got an idea. For what? This is a great idea. So we're going to do a study about whatever. You just make it up, right? We're going to get a bunch of owners. We'll say, hey, look, everybody get some pizza and bring your dogs, and they'll get some food, and we'll give you guys all $25 gift certificate to, PetSmart or Petco or wherever, wherever the dogs go. And we'll do a study. We'll film it. Then we'll bust out some jargon, and we'll stick it out there for the world to see. You didn't need, and we'll keep the other $499,000 we got for ourselves. Somebody's like, hell yeah. Like, that is a hell of a job. You're like, say what? Oh, indeed. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, we have a poll question up today about Michael Cohen. What do you think about the whole thing? Him taping that. Was it a good idea? Right? Was it about CYA and himself? Some people have been texting me that. Right? Was it wrong? Was it right? 69% of you say it was wrong. 11% say it was right. 20% say I'm undecided yet. Take the poll out, Chad Benson Show. You can like us on Facebook and take it there as well. It is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
President Trump took to Twitter this morning, expressing outrage that his longtime lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen recorded a conversation they had. The president writes, quote, "What kind of lawyer would tape a client? So sad." But Mr. Trump does not address the substance of what he is heard saying in that recording and whether he knew about a payment to Karen McDougal, former Playboy model who claimed she had an affair with Mr. Trump. The president also asked, quote, "Why was the tape so abruptly terminated, cut, while I was presumably saying positive things?"
What was he saying in the rest of that tape? What was he saying? Does it matter to you what was on the tape? I mean, all of this stuff took place before he was candidate Trump. Maybe even before he was apprentice Trump. The payoff came while he was candidate Trump. But now it's how did the money get there? Did he take it out of campaign finances? Was it cash? Was it in a paper bag? Did she report it to the IRS? Wouldn't that be funny if nothing happens to him and she gets flagged by the IRS? Chad, I feel sorry for her, Catherine McDougal. I feel sorry for Melania. Now, he's a billionaire. He's a playboy. He spent most of his life on the back pages in New York, right? The society pages. You know who he is. You know exactly what you're going to get. And she probably knew that. They probably have an arrangement. It's not unheard of in a situation like that. Is what it is. I don't judge. It's not my place. But did anything happen on there that was so incriminating as to say, this is it, he's done, he's caught, we've got it, it's the smoking gun? Now, I've cut it down to 41 seconds, but Chad, well, it's like a 3-minute tape. The first 2 minutes and like 20 seconds of him talking is not them talking about anything. He's actually on the phone with somebody, and they're talking about whether or not somebody should come somewhere or not go somewhere. Should you come? Shouldn't you go? Maybe you should. Then they talk about Pastor Scott and another pollster, and can we use that pollster again or somebody? They talk about those things, and that's it. There's nothing about the meat of it, which is what everybody wants to hear. I'll let you listen and hear for yourself.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with funding. Yes, and it's all the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that, and I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be. What financing? We'll have to pay you. So no. I got no.
So he says there, I'll pay cash. No. No cash. All right? Come on. All right? No cash. So it's no cash. All right? Giuliani talks about it being no cash. But other people out there say this is it. He's done. He's dusted. Lanny Davis, Cohen lawyer, this is what he says.
Richard Nixon couldn't spin the tape that did him in, and there's no way that Mr. Giuliani, who knows from being U.S. attorney, the only people who use cash are drug dealers and mobsters. Cash is not what you do, and it was Michael Cohen who said no, and Donald Trump, despite what Rudy Giuliani said publicly, the tape contradicts Mr. Giuliani, and the word cash is heard by everyone.
Yeah, but just because you suggest something doesn't mean you go through with it, right? Hey, we'll pay cash. No. Okay. Doesn't make a crime suggesting something. I'm not here to defend Trump, his actions. Hey, you know what? That's on him. I'm not married to him. I don't know. And I don't know what's on the rest of these tapes, right? I don't know how she got paid. Does anybody ask her? Did you get a cashier's check? Did you get, it came from a third, they set up a shell company. A lot of people set up shell companies. All right, set up shell companies, going to purchase this, going to do this, that. Set up a shell company. We're going to do this. We paid it out of this. Did it come out of campaign finance money? That's a question that needs to be asked. All right. Or did he literally write a check for it? Hey, Michael's like, I'll pay for it. You pay me back. All right. Did he pay for it and then he reimbursed Michael through the campaign fund? That's the question that people are going to ask. The cash side of it, the guy said no. No. Okay. There you go. There you go. So we move on. Giuliani?
And says, no, I got it. Cohen doesn't want the rest recorded because it was too exculpatory from the point of view of the president. There's no way the president is going to be talking about setting up a corporation and then using cash, unless you're a complete idiot. And the president's not an idiot.
What Giuliani's saying there is like, hey, let's do all this work to set up a shell corporation, and then I'll just hand her cash. Now it's whatever side of the aisle you're on is how this goes, right? Because both sides are going to fight it.
President Trump says, quote, don't pay with cash.
His attorney, Rudy Giuliani, saying on Fox News that Trump wanted to pay via check to properly document the payment. But Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis, told CNN it was candidate Trump who suggested the cash payment.
The tape contradicts Mr. Giuliani, and the word cash is heard by everyone.
Okay, that's true. Cash is heard. His client said no cash. Just because you say something doesn't mean you do it, right? Just because you say something doesn't mean you do it. The reality is she was paid something. It's not hard to find out how she was paid. We go from there. Mrs. McDougal, which I'm sure you're going to be called for. Were you handed money in a nondescript paper bag that was dropped, right? In a trash can somewhere in New York City, and then you drove by in an Uber and picked it up and got back in that Uber and drove off? Or were you given money through a shell corporation that you just thought was another corporation that was set up and then you got paid? How did this happen? Curious on how this happened. And then we go from there. The reality is, if you're on one side of the aisle, at this point in time, if it's Russia, if it's the downfall from a Playboy playmate or a porn actress, notice I didn't say star, if it comes from that side, you don't care. Any means necessary. You'll justify it in your mind that it was done that way. On the other side, you look at this and you're like, there's nothing on these tapes that prove anything was done wrong. So why are we talking about this crap? That's the world that we live in right now. Crap. Nothing real. And there's real stuff going on out there. There are real issues that are happening right now in our country that we should be talking about. Like everything that has happened with this president. If you're on one side of the aisle, you hate everything he's done, you hate who he is, he'll get no credit for anything, you just want him gone. You see it your way. Nothing has changed. Nothing coming out has changed your thought process. Nothing good happening in the country has changed your thought process. On the other side of the aisle, you love him, you stand behind him, he is your guy. Nothing that has come out is changing your thought process. Nothing bad that you've heard is changing your thought process or how you support him. It is what it is. That's where we are. That's where we are. And nothing about this tape is changing anybody's mind. There is a small group in the center of like-minded alt-middlers who say, let everything play itself out and we'll go from there. Can we talk about real things? Things like tariffs that are hurting. And I'm interested in and this is vitally important. And I want you guys to understand how important this is. And we're going to talk about tariffs. And I know it doesn't sound exciting, but what's going on with the farmers right now and what Trump is asking them, and I think what they're going to give him will surprise some people out there on the left. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Car Shield is amazing. No matter where you live in the country, you've noticed that, yes, prices of things are going up. Things are getting a little bit more expensive. Borrowing money could be more expensive. You want to make sure your car stays intact, and you want that little something extra because you no longer have a warranty on your car. What could that be? Car Shield, an extended vehicle protection from Car Shield, is that thing. If your car breaks down, you don't have that manufacturer warranty, you know what it can cost you. Thousands of dollars to replace your engine. Simple repair to a sensor can cost you over $1,000. But with Car Shield, they make the entire process of fixing your car for a cover repair super easy. It's so easy. You can have your favorite mechanic work on it. So they don't tell you, okay, fine, we'll fix it, but you got to take it to this mechanic. You say, I'm going to take it to my favorite mechanic. They're like, okay, we'll get them paid directly. Or I'm taking it to the dealership. Okay, we'll get them paid directly. They've got 24/7 roadside assistance. And here's something that's amazing. While your car's being fixed, whether it takes a day or 3 days or whatever it is, they will make sure that you have a rental car for free to get you to and fro. Boom. Blows your mind. I know it is amazing. So save yourself thousands of future car repairs. Get covered by the ultimate in extended vehicle protection. Do like I did. Get Car Shield. Call 800-CAR-6100. That's 800-CAR-6100. Mention code Benson. You can go online and check it out at carshield.com. That's carshield.com. When you mention code Benson, it saves you 10%. A deductible may apply. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Let's talk about tariffs. Let's talk about the farmers and what President Trump is asking them for. It is the Chad Benson Show.
Welcome to Chad. No, not the country. The institution. The Chad Benson Show.
Free trade used to be a bedrock principle for Republicans, but Donald Trump has long been a protectionist. And as president, he's put his protectionist tariffs in place and now is getting blowback, especially from farmers who are just getting walloped by retaliatory tariffs, especially from China. So the president has offered a $12 billion emergency bailout, the payments to be made before the midterm elections.
Yeah, and it is interesting. And I want to see what the farmers, because you think about farmers tend to be a little bit more conservative, right? So a little bit more conservative. They look at Trump. I think a good portion of them are on Trump's side. And the reality is this hasn't been good. Now, not all of it is tariffs. I'm going to tell you this right now. A good portion of it is. But also in certain markets, soybean markets, things like that, there's a lot of shorting going on, things of that nature. Some of the markets, those things can be manipulated, and there's some profit taking and some things going on there. But the reality is tariffs are hurting a good portion of farmers. And Trump's doing something that I find to be interesting, and I want to see how long it lasts.
They don't want to have those tariffs put on them. They're all coming to see us, and the farmers will be the biggest beneficiary. Watch. We're opening up markets. You watch what's going to happen. Just be a little patient.
Just be a little patient. Now, I've said from day one, I'm a free market guy. I wish there weren't tariffs anywhere. Let's just sell goods, and we'll see the better goods wins, right? Right? Let's just see what takes place. Free market, we're a consumption society. We want stuff to come in here cheap because we like to stock them deep and sell them cheap. Farmers are taking a hit, and he's starting to hear from it. His side of the aisle is just as angry and upset and frustrated with him as the left side of the aisle.
You know, not only myself, but I would say most Republicans have tried to talk to the president about this and warned him of the dangers.
Yeah, warned him of the dangers, right? They're worried about this. They really, really are.
Though I will say that there's a lot of confidence in Missouri ag world in the president's ability to get a better deal going forward than we would have had 2 years ago.
Now, when it comes to Russia, when it comes to the immigration situation that's going on and the separation of family, a lot of these things, trust in Trump. When it comes to the economy, he earned a little bit of that trust. has he earned a little bit of, you know what, if in the short term there is a bit of a sacrifice here and there's a bit of a tough time, if long term this turns out better, then it'll be worth it. So maybe he'll get a little bit of trust in this particular situation because of how well the economy's done, because of all the things that people trust him on, the economy and the financial side of things and business, if you will. That seems to be the thing that Trump is best at. Has he earned a little bit of trust? And I think for a lot of people out there, I think he has. Now, if this goes on and it's a prolonged situation here and we're continually bailing out and they're continuing to struggle, that may change. But I think for now, they're going to stick with him, despite the fact that many on both the right and left are extremely frustrated with him and the tariffs. But I think for the farmers, for a good portion of farmers and a good portion of people, especially to that heartland, that flyover country, they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, at least in the short term. Because they think that it's going to be a short-term situation that will give them long-term game. At least that's what they're being told. So for now, I think they're going to give him that. Now, if this goes on and on and on, and the economy really struggles, that'll change. But at least for now, I think they'll give him that. And he's asking for patience. So we shall see. We shall see what the end game looks like. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tell you right now, I got a poll question up. I want to hear from you. It's about Michael Cohen. What do you think about it? The taping of the president when he was then candidate Trump. 66% of you say it's wrong. 10% say it was right. 24% say I'm undecided yet. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. It is the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Oh, tell you what, there's a lot of other stuff that's going on in the world that needs to, of politics that needs to be addressed. And one of those things is we've got a guy that has been put up, Brett Kavanaugh, as a Supreme Court justice nominee. And he needs to get vetted. And he needs to talk to, the Republicans are on board and the Democrats are doing everything they possibly can to say we don't want to hear anything about it. And their fear is, obviously, is this, they think the court is going to eventually tip to the point where all of these things are going to come flying in, Roe v. Wade, marriage equality, and they're going to overturn everything, which I find to be ridiculous. And let's remember, Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Kavanaugh, if he becomes that, can't just say, hey, I'm Justice Kavanaugh. I'm the abortion and social justice that's come here to overturn everything and make it conservative. It doesn't work that way. But the fight is on, and the Dems are being what the Dems are being. Just like when the Republicans were in this situation, they were being the way that they had to be to make sure they appease their base.
The delay game is going to be played by our Democratic colleagues. They're going to try to put it off as long as possible. But the leaders made clear we're going to have this before this vote on the nomination, before the midterm elections.
Yeah, because the Republicans don't want to leave anything to chance, just in case they lose the House or the Senate, and then be like, oh, no. And you don't know, right? You don't know what's going to happen.
I was pleased to see that Senator Manchin decided to have a meeting, and we hope there will be more Democrats who may have an open mind on this nominee to actually sit down and meet him.
I doubt it. I doubt it at all. You're not going to find many who want to do it. not going to sit down and meet him. They may, a few may, and let's be real. There's a good portion of them have already talked to him before, know who this guy is. The reality is they're just not. This is, and they can't. Joe Manchin is in an area where, in West Virginia, where he didn't really have a choice, right? He doesn't. And as we talk about the Supreme Court nomination, remember that it's not about what you will rule on, for or against. It's, do you have an understanding of the and knowledge of the law and the Constitution? Can you perform this job? Not what side are you going to come down on a case. It's, can you perform the job? That's what the vetting is supposed to be about. But those days are long gone, especially as how hyper politicized everything is and how we're so tribal. It's no longer, are you capable of doing job? Are you going to do the job that I want you to do the way I want you to do it?
He is part of making this court not represent equal justice under law, but making this court represent corporate interests against the interests of individual human beings in this country.
Did you guys get that? That's a wind talker right there. Elizabeth Wind Talking Warren. You guys don't speak Navajo? You don't? Okay. Chad, you're a jerk.
His nomination is a threat to people of color, to women, to workers, to the LGBTQ community, to people living in poverty.
All right, if you guys didn't understand that because she's speaking her native tongue, she's saying that his nomination is a threat to the LGBTQ, LMNOP community, to poor people, to women, to African Americans, to people of color, to people with arms, to people with legs, to people with eyes, nose, ears, and toes, ears and toes. Yeah, it's hard, right? I'm learning, but I think that's what she said there. Cory Booker, what do you have to say on it?
In a moral moment, there is no bystanders. That in a moral moment, there is no neutral. In a moral moment, you are either complicit in the evil, you are either contributing to the wrong, or you are fighting against it.
Okay, essentially what he said there is this is a moral moment, and he's evil, and he's got to fight against that evil that is Brett Kavanaugh. So we'll see what happens. The vote's coming. They're going to say those things. They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. They've got to say those things. They have no choice but to say those things, to try to stall. Their end game is do what we can to stall, try everything to prevent any kind of vote we can, get to the midterms, hope that we get the Senate and everything, and we could stop this from happening. That is the only thing. And if the right was on that side of the aisle, they would do the exact same thing. And they did. Was it different? Yeah, you could say, yeah, you can make an argument it was different. Absolutely. You know, Obama was going out. You had a new president coming in. You could make that argument. But this is what politics has become, a stalled game. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. We were talking a lot today about the Cohen tapes and not the moral side of what Trump did, whether it was right or wrong as far as, some people out there, it's like, you know what? It's his personal life. He can do what he wants. I feel bad for Catherine McDougal. I feel bad for Melania Trump because it's an embarrassing thing. This happened long before he was president. How was she paid? This Playboy playmate? I don't know. Right? But the fact that the tapes are out there now and tapes are coming out, not for a second do I think that there's not going to be a ton more tapes and stuff coming out, because there is. There absolutely is. 100%. So how do you feel about it? Was what Michael Cohen did, was it right? Was it wrong? How do you feel about it? You take the poll at Chad Benson Show. 70% of you say it was wrong. 9% say it was right. 21% say I'm undecided yet. And I think leaking them, I think having them come out, I just think as look, I understand the CYA in yourself. I got no problem with that. I got zero problem with the CYA-ing yourself. Because you're looking, and if you're looking along the way and you know you've got a lot of stuff on this person, you're not quite sure where this is going to go, and this is becoming more of a believable thing that he may be president, and you're starting to see some people around him really take some heat. You CYA yourself, the fact that it's coming out, and you're a lawyer, right? I go back to, you go in for marriage counseling to talk to your pastor, and you talk to him about certain things, and then he has it, and for whatever reason, he plays it for the congregation. How just awful is that for your husband or wife or for your situation? All of those kind of things, when there was no need for it to happen. Did we learn anything from these tapes? Not that I've seen, at least, or heard in the first 3 minutes that we've heard, right? But I don't know what's going to come out of it. And if your end game for the left is let's get this guy at all, for everything we possibly can, that doesn't matter. And we're going to all hands on deck, and it doesn't matter how we get him, which is what I think the whole end game is for them. It doesn't matter. Let's just get him. Don't care if it's Russia or if it's the way that he paid somebody to be quiet about an affair. And the other people out there on the right, and even myself, look, I haven't heard anything. He paid somebody to be quiet, which didn't happen. One of the questions that some people are texting in is, why is it only $150,000? And I'll tell you why. It's because nobody thought he was going to win. If you knew he was going to be president and you knew that this could be an issue down the road and you were 100% certain, you're getting 7 figures, right? You're getting 7 figures. But the reality was, I don't think that Stormy Daniels or Catherine McDougal thought he was probably going to win, and maybe that's even how they portrayed it. Look, he's probably not going to win, but we just want to make sure kind of thing. Interesting. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. What do you think? How do you view what Michael Cohen did, recording the then candidate Trump? 70% of you say it's wrong. I think it's a CYA, and why it's coming in, why he did it is he must know a lot more. That's probably more embarrassing than it is anything else. But all too often, and I always caution the people on the left who really want Trump gone, I always reference back to one thing. You get excited over something, right? So you get super excited. And then you're like, that's it? And I always caution him. To me, this is always ends up being Geraldo and the Al Capone safe. It's a big deal. Everybody tunes in, and there's nothing in there. Right? Just saying. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Hey, what if I told you I work with an organization that is amazing. They're advocating on behalf of a lot of your beliefs and views that you share about Social Security and how to reform it, comprehensive immigration reform that's common sense. But on top of that, they're an organization that is going to help you get amazing discounts and benefits that you could not even imagine. 40% off movie tickets, access to supplemental dental plans with savings up to 60%. How about 40% off theme parks like Disneyland, Disney World, Legoland, SeaWorld, and so many more. Travel discounts, retail and restaurant discounts. And what if I was to tell you it's absolutely free for you to join. Free. Doesn't cost you a penny. They don't want your credit card. There's no trick. There's no gimmick. Nothing. I'm working with AMAC. They're amazing, and now is your time to join for free. ARP, you don't jive with a lot of what they believe in. AMAC, you do. You line up with them a lot more, and you get all of the same benefits and then some. And here's the deal. It doesn't cost you a penny. Go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. It's free to join. They're not going to ask you for anything. There's no cost, no tricks, no credit card required. Just sign up. That's it. Or you can call 888-355-1668. That's 888-355-1668 or online at amac.us/Chad. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Roseanne Barr is upset about something. Does she have a point? And we got your useless fact of the day straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
Take a fake news break. Check out the really important news of the day at our website, ChadBensonShow.com. Once there, click on Chad's free podcast and get real. The Chad Benson Show, where truth and the American way live. Print free.
So, does Roseanne Barr have a little bit of an argument here? James Gunn was fired after tweets surfaced that he tweeted out 10 years ago, and some of them were horrible about pedophilia and things like this. And this is the guy who's directed the last two and the first two Guardians movies, was going to direct a third, and he had done several other movies. And people are rushing to his defense. People who starred, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Selma Blair, have all said, oh, wait a minute here. And Disney fired him hours after the tweet surfaced, and they'd been there for a long time, and he said he was embarrassed by it. I don't think he deserved to be fired. I think they were stupid. He was trying to be provocative, he said. But he got fired, and she got fired. Both by Disney, by the way. Right? Both by Disney, letting them go. But there's a petition to bring him back on. People are saying they're starting to waver, and you never know. She's upset, and I'm telling you guys, does she have a place to stand here? Now, her tweets were racist. She's made it think, I thought she was white. We heard that the other day. I'm one of these things. I'm in this position where, I'm like, we've got Trumpism. We used to have McCarthyism, right? Where there was red everywhere. Everybody's work, in the military, in Hollywood, there was red. There was communism everywhere. We're going to have to go after it. Now there is some Trumpism. You support Trump, you may be in trouble. And she feels like she's been thrown out, and he's getting love.
On one point, she's not wrong. While James cast members, colleagues, and even fans have been very vocal about their feelings, they think Disney firing him is a bunch of BS. Hollywood pretty much abandoned Roseanne.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, they threw her out and left her there. Now, I don't think Disney had a choice. I don't think they did. Do I think she thought she was white? Whatever. Maybe she did. I don't know. I don't know if she's a racist. I don't know who she is as a human being, right? Judging from that thing I saw the other day, wondering if the elevator still goes all the way to the top. In saying that, do I think there's something to this when it comes to her supporting one side of the aisle, particularly a person?
You'll remember Roseanne has been an outspoken supporter of President Trump, and she released this video just last week explaining why she thinks she was fired and is currently getting no support.
Well, the answer is simple. It's because I voted for Donald Trump, and that is not allowed in Hollywood.
I think there's a lot of that. I do. I absolutely think there is a lot of that going on. If you support Trump, you better be quiet about it, or else. Like I said, I don't think Disney had a choice with her. With him, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It will be. I know he's going to direct more movies. He's got a lot of people that are supporting him. I didn't think he deserved to be fired. I think he was trying to be provocative and stupid, and I think at times so was Roseanne. I think she crossed I think she crossed the line, and it may very well have been just a stupid thing that she did. the reality is, it's the world we live in. And yeah, there is Trumpism, I believe, in Hollywood. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter poll question today. What do you think about Cohen's tape? Was it right? Was it wrong for him to tape? Let me know. You can text the program. You can tweet at us. Take the poll on Facebook as well. Your useless fact of the day. A Cambridge professor, William Tunstall Padot, put together a computer program that put together over 300 million facts tied to events and places around the world and dates, and came up with April 11th, 1954, as the most boring day in history. On that day, a Turkish academic was born, and a professional soccer player passed away. Outside of that, nothing noteworthy happened. Have yourself a good rest of your hump day. Night-night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.